Yeah. You hear the news? What news? The CGC BGS 10 Pristine with some black gold fleck 10 label sold for $3 million privately. $3 million. The highest ever for a Magic the Gathering card. Wow. Let's discuss this and some of the more interesting facts of what I think is going on in the market. All right, everyone. Hey, welcome back to another video. Before we start, check out these amazing cards, all on eBay auction, no reserve. The link is below. Please bid. These are amazing cards. A foil Richard on Port. Check that out. That's very rare. Mishra's Factory. Beautiful reserve list cards. Beta Volcanic. All on eBay auction, no reserve. Enjoy the video and good luck on the auctions. All right, guys, welcome back. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com, and today we're going to talk all about this CGC 10 Pristine 1 of 1 black label with a furry, the gold fleck thing. It's kind of cool. It's their, not gem mint label, but their pristine label, which basically means the card is flawless, right? We'll have to discuss that. Get into that in a minute. So, I actually talked to the collector who owns this card now, and I also he also bought all of the other CGC graded 10 cards, the whole Alpha Power 9 run, and I think there was like 4 or 5 pristines in that, and the Black Lotus was sold for $3 million privately, sold recently, announced by CGC themselves for $3 million, and that's the highest ever for a Magic the Gathering card ever. Beats out PSA 10. Now, there is a BGS 10 out there, only one, and the guy wants about 5 to 6 or whatever million. I'm pretty sure, just, you know, understanding the collectibles world, that card would go higher than the CGC 10 Pristine that recently sold for $3 million. Also, remember, this collector also bought the rest of the CGC 10 run. And I want to talk more about that here in this video, kind of, because I've been getting so many messages and comments about, you know, what do you think? Do you think this thing is legit? Do you think the card quality is legit? What do you think about CGC? It brings up all these comments about it. Okay, I'm going to start the first question. Yes, it is a legit sale, verified, done with that. All right. Number 2. Really important to understand, is it the quality that is a pristine? Well, if you go to the CGC website, you'll notice that they have their requirements and stuff, but you'll probably be starting to figure out pretty quick if you do some simple investigation that if you look at the quality of the cards, especially the newer label one, the black label one, not with the subgrades, they got rid of the subgrades, right? Those newer graded CGC cards have a very interesting consistency. Probably worthy of another video later on, but you'll notice that the Gem Mint CGC 10 grade has quite a range of quality, in my opinion. Furthermore, I will also say the 9s and even the 8s and 8.5s, you know, there's some range too. It used to be, I think, a little bit more strict. Now, more loosey-goosey. I don't know what's going on, those guys over there, but personally, I've been grading this stuff for a long time. A lot of these cards wouldn't even meet BGS standards at this point, because what's going on is BGS has gone more strict. Their grades are so strict to a point of, like, I don't know if these sports card graders need a lesson on what the Magic card should look like when they come out of the pack. The Alpha Beta cards, especially Alpha, they were not beautiful cards, right? Perfect like the modern day, right? There's going to be micro flex here and there, just the way it was cut. You have to account for the era and everything. It's kind of a thing with vintage cards. I think at a certain point, because Magic cards are 30 years or so, they're going to have to account for the age of the card to kind of make sure that, you know, I'm not saying it's lenient, but they have to understand that the reality is getting a certain level of quality cards versus today's modern day cut is basically impossible, right? So you could always analyze a card and see tons of flex and print dots or lines and everywhere. All right. enough of that. So let's get into the CGC Pristine, because that is their higher Rolls Royce grading. That means that that card should be absolutely freaking beautiful. Now, I've graded a lot of cards, and I can tell you, just by what I see in the picture of that card, I don't think that card is a pristine, in my opinion. I also don't think several of those cards in that run is a gem mint or a pristine. Just saying. That's from my expert evaluation and seeing what I've seen in the pictures. Now, have I ever seen the cards in person? No. Am I hating on this? No. Happy it happened. Happy the collector has his cards. Happy the seller got the money. Everything worked out great, right? Everything's fine and dandy. But I have my opinion because I've been asked this question, and I just want to make sure it's all out there that I don't personally think a lot of these CGC cards deserve their grade. Furthermore, I am not saying that PSA cards or Beckett cards all deserve their grade. I want to be very clear. I am not sponsored by anybody here. I'm doing it for myself. I enjoy this stuff. This is the best part of the day, doing videos. All right, so getting that out of the way, I don't think that I personally, and I can dive deeper in that. I know you're going to have comments. Why? Okay, lots of comments, lots of evidence, lots of understanding cards. I just don't think that it matches up. Just saying. Okay. Now, let's talk about value. Was the $3 million sale stupid or a great purchase? Well, let's go through this. CGC recently also graded had the most expensive comic book that I ever sold. That's an 8.5. CGC 8.5. Or is that CSG? I don't remember, but it's their comic book grading company. And that sold for $6 million, Superman Action Comics, whatever, and the highest ever for a comic book. So that company, that umbrella, has credibility in multiple different avenues. And that's important because you have to understand, if a card was graded by not the big four, I put SGC in there, be it PSA, BGS, SGC, and CGC, I guess. CGC is there too, okay? All other grading companies do not command that dollar. And if they did, there would have to be some justification and, like I just explained, backing of history of good grading prowess and no scandals, stuff like that. All right. So out of that aside, I like that. It's CGC Pristine. I got it. Now, do I think from the price, because it comes down to price, $3 million, what are you valuating the price by? He must have known the guy who wants the BGS 10 wants a lot more money, right? Probably 6, 7, 8 million, 10 million, don't know. More than 3 million, obviously. Better value, I think, for the BGS. BGS is still the king of Magic cards for now, for vintage Magic cards, that is. And so it's not a black label, but it's 3 10s and a 9.5 subgrades, right? Okay, for the alpha one. So how do we evaluate it? BGS 9.5 probably goes for basic subgrades. I don't know, 400, 500, 600 if it's nicer, right? Quads, probably 5, 6, 7. Quad plus, almost $1 million. Quad plus, I think there's 2 of them in the world for BGS. Probably about $1.5 million. Who knows? Depends on the quality of the card, if that's what we're talking about. Because remember what I said before to you guys. Don't buy the label. Buy the quality of the cards. I'm OCD like some of you guys are out there. I want to have an even, perfect 10 set, whatever. But I don't think I would ever buy anything if it didn't look like it. It didn't look like the part. It didn't have the value there, right? So, with that set in mind, going to the gentleman who bought the entire CGC run, all those cards, I would only buy it if it was worthy of all the grades. And from my very minor inspection, because I don't have the cards in my hand, I can instantly tell that the cards are probably loosey-goosey for those grades, for a few of them, for sure, 100%, okay? And we can do another video on that next time. I just don't see the value, because once you think about that, if you have a buyer who wants to buy those quality cards, not the grade, and there's buyers out there who care about the quality of the cards, because they're going to be like, you know what? I'm not buying this if it isn't worthy of the grade. If it is, I'm going to put a record price out there. Sure, if I was uber rich, I didn't give a shit, but I also cared that it wasn't just a 10. It was really a 10. And that's very important to put a point on that. That's why I think the price is a little, based off of, I don't know. Another thing is payment. How was it paid? I'm guessing it was wire, crypto, whatever, right? Any of those factors can happen. Maybe there's some trades going on. That could be a valuation mark too, right? Regardless, right, we don't know the sale of the other 8 Power 9. You have the Mox Sapphire, the Jet, the Ruby, the Pearl, the Emerald. You also have the Time Twister, Time Walk, and the SSL Recall. And of course, the Black Lotus. So, depending on the grades and all that, the quality, I would guess, about $2 million, maybe $3 million more. Total sale, about $6 million. I don't know. That's my guess. But again, I want to see the quality. I want to see the quality of the card. Very important to understand that. All right. So, another question that was asked to me is, well, the person that graded the cards, did they just have these cards sitting around and just sitting around, and they were found in some attic and whatever for years? Nope. I don't think that's the case. My guess is when you answer that question, it's a great question, is when you have cards to grade, you don't necessarily get them from one set. Very, very impossible to find a binder, which I've seen many, with Power 9 Alpha set, let alone all Gem Mint CGC 10 quality. And especially the $3 million CGC 10 Lotus. That's important to understand. That's not happening. Okay, so we'll eliminate that. What I guess is that the person that graded, I'm thinking that all those cards are graded by the same individual from what I have seen in my research, right? There has definitely been some, maybe some recracking of cards, I would guess, right? Resubmissions of cards that could have been previous PSA, BGS 9.5 quality, maybe BGS 10, I don't know, cracked out, whatever, resubmitted, reviewed, right, type of cards. I would guess that would be the first guess. The second guess, it could be cracked out lower grade cards, could be lower grade than the CGS 10 quality. Even BGS 9s that are really nice could be a CGC 10. And that happens, by the way, with all grading companies. You could crack out a PSA 8 and that could get a BGS 9.5. Seriously, it's happened. Vice versa, right? You can have cards that some PSA is a PSA 10, BGS, you recrack it, they'll not get a 9.5. They'll give it like an 8. They don't like the centering, I don't know. They don't like it. They like the print dots, whatever, right? So that is what happens. So that answers that question, is that I'm guessing there's a lot of it wouldn't be one find from a binder. It would be multiple different cards and stuff cracked out, possibly, purchased over the years, whatever, to grade. And that's what I'm thinking. All right, so that answers that question. So I guess the final part of this video I want you guys to understand is, does this mean all of the Alpha Black Lotuses and all the Black Lotuses in general all go skyrocket in crazy value because of the fact that, because the CGC 10 Pristine sold for $3 million? Yes and no. Okay. Yes, the values of Alpha Lotuses are more in the sense that Alpha Lotuses, because they have still this recognition, right? First edition. It is showing that a first edition Alpha Lotus breaks records at $3 million. Not the highest sale for a magic item, by the way. I sold that 2022 Alpha Black, the Black Lotus painting. Probably worth a little bit more now, but that's different. It's not a card. So, highest sale for a card. It gives the confidence that first edition cards have this ability to grow in value. Hence, you see the $6 million Superman comic, and then I think it was $5.7 million for the other Superman CGC 8 whatever comic. That was the highest sale before. Then there was a Batman one years ago, an X-Men. I don't know, right? I'm sorry, Spider-Man, another Spider-Man, another man, right? The point is, all these records are being, are built up. Same with sports cards, same with hockey, I'm sorry, hockey is a sport. Yeah, what am I talking about? All those cards, TCGs, whatever. So that gives me confidence. Ungraded cards for alpha, let's say, I don't know, don't think there really puts a spike on it. I think it always puts it in a light where, hey, like, look, you know, there is value in buying these first edition cards and, you know, highlights that market, right? I will say, though, for the beta and unlimited, probably not a lot of growth from this news. It doesn't make all Magic the Gathering cards, even vintage, necessarily worth more. It does show that if you have high-end collectibles, there is an opportunity to get some world record sales for some of this stuff. But again, I'm going to say it one last time, ending this video. I do not think the cards are worthy of the grades for the, you know, all 9, Power 9, from what I see. I just don't buy it. I haven't seen the cards in person. From what the scans I've seen, it just doesn't have, I don't know. I mean, we could nitpick this all day long, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like the standards have changed for grading over the years, and there's a lot of inconsistencies. Every single company has way crazy inconsistencies. But I will say, you know, congratulations to the buyer and the seller. It's great for Magic news. It makes me, you know, feel confident that the market there's expendable luxury income out there. Sure, absolutely, 100%. But I also believe that, you know, if you're asking me the question, because I've been asked the question, do I think that was a good purchase? No, because the quality of the cards did not really match up with it. And because ultimately, though, that doesn't matter what I think. The price was paid. The buyer and the seller agreed. The buyer's ecstatic, talked to the guy, really nice guy. I'm sure the seller's fine with everything too. Everything's great. So everybody's happy. Everybody moves on. Let's enjoy our day. And I will see you at the La Gala TCG on May 4th, May 5th. Saturday, Sunday, and Paris, France. I'm leaving right now, actually. Au revoir. Hey everyone, it's me, Daniel with VintageMagic.com. I want to share with you more about how we handle consignments. So to begin the consignment process, we actually need to start with the consultation service. In this consultation, I will determine what you're looking to do. And generally, consigners usually tell me, hey Dan, I'm looking to sell my items and maximize the value of their collection. After we determine through the consultation, I usually like to do an appraisal process. And an appraisal process in terms of a consignment is more fitted towards authenticity and valuation for current market values. From there, after a contract is crafted and signed, we will then receive the items from you. The reason why our consignment process is very thorough is we also identify cards that could be graded so then they can maximize higher dollar values. So the payment process is very simple. Once we have sold your items, you'll get an updated ledger and we will process payment for whatever form of payment you need. As a consigner, you're gonna experience our white glove service. What that means is I'm gonna personally handle your collectibles from beginning to end. And rest assured, the client that purchases your collectibles will also receive the same white glove service. It's a signature service that I really pride myself on in working closely with my clients.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit VintageMagic.com.